Hello and welcome. Today we're doing a question from LeetCode called Kids with the Greatest Number of Candies. Now this is part of LeetCode 75. If you are following along, that whole playlist is linked below this video. So let's get into this problem. There are n kids with candies. You are given an integer array candies where each candy's I represents the number of candies the ith kid has, and an integer extra candies denoting the number of extra candies that you have. So we want to return a Boolean array result of length n, where result I is true if after giving the ith kid all the extra candies, they will have the greatest number of candies among all the other kids, or false otherwise. Note, multiple kids can have the greatest number of candies. So we're given an input array candies denoting the number of candies the ith kid has, and an integer extra candies, and we want to find out if we give the ith kid all the extra candies, will it have the most number of candies? So example 1, we have 2, 3, 5, 1, 3, and the extra candies is 3. So right now, what is the greatest number of candies any kid has? That's 5 over here. But if we were to give our first kid 3 extra candies, it would be one of the greatest candies, right? This would also now have 5, so this is going to be true. If we gave this kid extra candies, it's going to total 6, greater than 5. Of course, 5 was already the max, so giving extra to what was already the greatest is going to stay greatest. But over here, with just 1 candy, even with an additional 3 candies, it's not going to exceed that maximum candy count of 5. And over here, this is the same as this one right here, so this is also going to be true. Example 2, 4, 2, 1, 1, 2 extra candy is 1. Here, this is our greatest candy count, so this is going to be true even with the extra candies, but none of these measure up, so they're all false. And example 3, we have 12, 1, and 12. We have 10 extra candies. So right now, the greatest number of candies any kid has is 12. Given 10 extra to any of these kids, this will go to 22, which is greater than said 12, and so will this, so these are both true. But for this one, even with an additional 10, it doesn't exceed 12, so it's going to be false. Now, this question is pretty straightforward. We just want to make sure we understand what we want to do. So say we have the following example. This is from example 1. What we want to do is just loop through, keeping track of the maximum candy we've seen so far. So it's going to be 5 to start off with. So I'm going to store in my greatest variable the max of my candies. So this right now holds the number 5. And now I also want to initialize a resulting array that's going to hold all booleans, true and falses, that I'm going to return in the end. So I'm going to initialize result to be empty. And now we want to loop through our candies. So for candy in candies, what we want to do is at each candy count, add the extra candies and see if it is greater than equal to the greatest candy we'd seen previously. If so, we're going to append a true to our result. If not, we're going to append a false. So if candy plus extra candies is greater than equal to the greatest candy count we'd seen, we're going to append it to result true, because this kid at this index would have one of the greatest candies. And if that is not the case, so else result.append, we're going to append false. And in the end, all we want to do is return our result. So let's go ahead and submit this. And it is accepted. Now, before leaving, let's just run through a super quick walkthrough just so we can see how our code is going to play out line by line. Okay, continuing with our example from number 1, this is our input, and we established our greatest is going to be 5. It's the max of all the candies we have so far. So greatest is 5, and we initialize the result to be empty. And now we're going to loop through for all the candies in candy. So we start off at this index right over here, candy being 2. Now, 2 plus the extra candies that we have, so what was extra candies? That was 3. Is that greater than equal to 5? So 2 plus 3 is 5. It's greater than equal to 5. So we're appending true to result. And once that's done, we move back into the for loop. So candy is now at 3. Again, we do the same thing. 3 plus 3 is that greater than equal to 5? It is. So since we're in this if condition, what we're doing is adding true to result. Going back in this for loop, candy is now 5. 5 plus 3 is equal to 8, which is greater than equal to 5. So this is going to be true. Moving down again, candy is now 1. 1 plus 3 equals 4, which is not greater than equal to 5. So we don't go in this if, and we go into this else instead, appending false to our result. Once that's done, we go back in our for loop for the last iteration, and we make the same check. Candy, which is 3, plus extra candies, which is 3, is that greater than equal to the greatest of 5? That's true, right? 6 is greater than equal to 5. So we append true to result. So now that we are done with this for loop, we went through all the elements in our input. All we have to do is return result, which is this array over here. True, 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 false, and true, which is exactly what we were expecting. Now, talking about space and time complexity for this solution, for time, we are iterating through every single element. So if there are n elements in our input, we're going to have a time complexity of O of n. And for space, not including the actual result we end up outputting at the end, we're not really keeping track of anything, we're just looping through our input, so there's going to be constant O of 1 for space. So we just went ahead and solved kids with the greatest number of candies. If you have any questions whatsoever, let me know down below, I will answer all of them. If this video was helpful, like, comment, share, and subscribe. It really supports the channel, and as always, I will see you in the next one.